Radhe Radhe, a spiritual good morning to one and all on Saturday, 29th April 2023. In this continuing journey of our Bhagavad Gita study series for chapter 7, along with me for this recap video is Mummy.
Radhe Radhe.
Bringing up the screen, we'll take a look at today's content. So we covered chapter 7 verses 16 and 17. As always, after a few quiz questions to recap last time's material, which covered chapter 7 verses 14 and 15. So you are certainly encouraged to take a look at that material. The slides are available on the community portal page for this class. Again, please do check the description for this video, and you can get the information from a link there. So up now, we have chapter 7 verse 16. We'll hear the recitation first before getting into some explanation.
Verse 16. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinurjuna arto jignyasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha.
So chapter 7 verse 16, we have the catchphrase as a question, shackled, because remember, previously we covered chapter 7 verse 15. I believe the catchphrase for that was on the run, because that is referring to the 4 categories of people who do not surrender to Sri Krishna. Here, we're talking about pious people who engage in devotion to Sri Krishna, therefore the ones who surrender to him. But by surrendering, are they shackled, or is it actually something different? We discussed in class, and in a way, we trust all of you know the answer. There is, in fact, the element of being unshackled, because they are not tormented by material miseries with that element of surrender once you get God's grace and move over to the transcendental ocean, the transcendental realm of Sri Krishna. So chapter 7 verse 16 here, again, shackled, we have the 4 categories Sri Krishna describes of people who are pious. That's an essential element. So pious, and who then engage in his devotion. First category is those who need help, those who are distressed. We have the popular example of Draupadi that you all can see in the commentary. We talked at length in class about it and also described her calling out to Sri Krishna in Dwarka, the humorous story that Swamiji often tells in lectures or videos as well. Second is those who are seeking knowledge. They're just satisfying their thirst or curiosity for knowledge about God. Third is those who really want more worldly or material possessions. Though interestingly, as we mentioned, the example here in the commentary is nonetheless of a spiritual kind. It's not about us as humans, but rather a exalted, elevated King Dhruv talking about his love for his father and how to get that grace of God. And finally, we have the 4th category, which is those who are situated in knowledge, those who know their eternal constitutional position as tiny fragments, tiny souls of God, whose eternal dharma and duty is to love and serve God. As we mentioned in class, the commentary here perhaps is brief because it is meant to foreshadow and make a segue to chapter 7, verse 17 that we shall now see.
Verse 17. Tesham jnani nityayuktaha ek bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi jnani nyotyartham aham sacha mama priyaha.
So chapter 7, verse 17, again a question as a catchphrase, and it is, know the highest? Question being, do we know who the highest category is? That is, of course, answered by Sri Krishna in this verse. Also, the use of the word know as a pun here in the sense that the answer is to do with knowledge. Not the seekers of knowledge, but those who are situated in knowledge, that 4th category from chapter 7, verse 16. So know the highest? Well, now we do. And so we hear from Sri Krishna that of those 4 categories just described in the previous verse, those that are considered the highest, the dearest to Sri Krishna are the ones who are situated in knowledge, the ones who worship Sri Krishna with knowledge. And as Mummy stressed in class, the important 2 attributes They are steadfastly and exclusively devoted to Sri Krishna. Overall self-explanatory, we do have the concept here of incessant, non-stop, continuous, right? Love and devotion for God, which helps us get the bliss of God. In fact, in the previous verse, we have a word beatitude here. We've seen that before, and that refers to the bliss that we can get, such as in this spiritual realm of God. So here, knowing one's eternal relationship with God, serving and loving God, and having that exclusive, steadfast, single-minded devotion to God, that non-stop, incessant love for God, that is the category of people who are the dearest to Sri Krishna. And he says he also is, of course, very dear to them. So certainly there is the element of equanimity. Neither does one thirst for favorable circumstances, nor does one lament over unfavorable ones. That element of equipoise, we've seen that word also many times. And the last concept was about offering oneself as sacrifice or as an oblation in a fire, and that fire is the fire of love for the divine beloved, such as Sri Krishna here. And therefore, that's why Sri Krishna says that those who are situated in knowledge are the ones who are dearest to him. Very briefly, we also made connections to chapter 6, verse 47, where at the end of chapter 6, Sri Krishna had described of all yogis, the ones who are with their minds always absorbed in him and who engage in devotion to him with great faith. They are the ones who he considers the highest of all. So please go back and take a look at chapter 6, verse 47. And connecting oblation, we mentioned that it came up in yesterday's lecture, the short dialogue that Swamiji had with all of us in the Angels program for his noble cause. And also, as I mentioned, chapter 4, verse 24, everything being oblation, seeing the act, the offering, the ladle, etc., all as oblation, as one offers it out of love and devotion to God. So please do revisit chapter 4, verse 24 as well. Mummy, I'm going to pass it over to you to enlighten us about some important Sanskrit words and other items.
So, from verse 16, I have chosen the word, very important one, that is Sukritanaha. Sukritanaha means those who are pious. Now see, for being in these four categories, the essential quality is that you have to be pious. Those are the ones who surrender to Sri Krishna, be it distressed, or be who are seeking after knowledge, or be who are seeking the worldly possessions, and those who are situated in knowledge. The first precondition is that they are all Sukritanaha. That means they are all pious people. Now, verse number 17, I have chosen a simple, important word which we have been learning from chapter 2, and the word is Nitya Yuktaha. Nitya Yuktaha. Nitya means ever. Yuktaha means steadfast, that at any given moment you are connected with God. You are steadfast in that knowledge. And what is that knowledge? That knowledge is that we are souls, and our individual soul is the fragment of that supreme soul. And that is why for this individual soul, the eternal dharma or eternal duty is to always love and serve God. That is so we have to keep on increasing our loving devotion. And then Krishna says that those who are situated in that selfless devotion, and then they are in total self-surrender to God, then they offer themselves as oblation in the fire of love of their divine beloved. That means, oblation means that when you do some, put in some sacrifice in the fire. Now we do yagna and we put ghee, right? Now here we have to use ourselves as the oblation. How do we use ourselves? By doing seva, loving devotion and seva. Seva is the biggest thing to reach God realization. Now that seva can be done either with your body, with your knowledge, with your money, whatever you have, whichever way you are comfortable, you do seva and loving devotion to God. And as we all have been talking about it, that Swamiji has a very noble cause. He's working for a very noble cause, building that Jagat Guru Kripalu University and Naturopathy Hospital in rural Odisha. And so what I take it that we all can do little seva, whichever way we can, and contribute to that great cause. We send all the important links along with the recap video. So do take advantage of the different links, the videos, and all the information. And for detailed description of these verses, join us next Saturday at 8 a.m. when we start with verse number 18 onwards. With that, over to you, Gagan.
Yeah, thank you, Mummy. And in fact, my final comment is going to be, I'm going to just thank Krishna ji in class, as he mentioned the similar example from a surrender perspective related to Draupadi. I mentioned we'll get to this many, many chapters from now. We'll get there. But the example of Gajraj, we have that right here, the elephant being saved from the crocodile by, of course, Lord Vishnu. So again, just nice to see different connections. And as Mummy said, of course, we look forward to seeing you next time. We're going to be entering the month of May. So Saturday, 6th May, 2023, next class for Bhagavad Gita study, same time, same place. And hopefully a short while from now, we'll see you for a new chapter in Bhagavad Gita recitation. Till then, thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.